Hello everyone, I am Lemuel and this is my beautiful wife Justine.
大家好，我個名係 Lemuel， 呢個係我個好靚嘅太太 Justine。
We are disciples of Pastor Jason and Anna.
我哋係見證妙妙嘅門徒。
I grew up in a family that favor boys.
我喺一個家庭出身，而佢哋係重男輕女嘅。
And in addition to that, I was very good at my studies.
而且我嗰陣時咧讀書又好好，
So I was practically like a little emperor in my house.
所以咧我喺屋企裏邊好似個小皇帝咁樣。
There's very little things that I want that I cannot get.
冇乜嘢咧係我想要但係我攞唔到嘅。
Other than studying,
除咗讀書之外，
I don't have much other responsibilities.
我冇咩責任㗎。
All I care was about enjoying myself and also my own needs.
我就係在乎我中意享受嘅嘢啦，同埋我需要嘅嘢。
When I was young,
我細個嗰陣時咧，
I would always be stuck with a lot of wine and women.
我就成日我年青嘅時候咧，我就成日飲酒，我成日都同啲女人搞埋一齊。
Indulging myself and numbing myself.
我就係陶醉喺我自己想要嘅嘢裏邊麻醉自己。
Even though I had many dreams,
我其實有好多夢想，
but a lot of them became half-baked.
但係好多咧都係半途而廢嘅。
I came to a point whereby it felt as though I would start something gloriously, but it would just end in a sputter.
好多嘢咧，我一開始嗰時咧好好，但係最尾就虎頭蛇尾。
Many times when I faced problems,
好多次咧，我遇到問題嘅時候，
I would run away.
我就逃跑，
I would push the blame to others.
我咧就怪其他人，
And I would blame heaven
我怪天
for not helping me.
唔幫我。
Hi everyone, I'm Justine.
大家好，我係 Justine。
I'm coming from a family where I'm a third generation Christian.
我咧係一個家庭，我係第三代基督徒。
Since birth, I've been going to church every week.
我一出世我就返教會啦。
In my family, there's a lot of rule and regulations.
喺我屋企咧，成日都講規矩，成日都講紀律。
My mom is someone with very high standard.
我媽咪咧，佢好高要求。
And the way she treats me and my sister, she has a lot of expectation towards us.
對我啦，對我妹妹啦，佢好多嘅期望。
And sometimes when we cannot meet that standard, she gets very upset.
有時咧，我哋做唔到佢要求咧，佢就好唔開心。
My dad is completely silent.
我爸爸咧係沉默嘅。
When we see him, he just smiles.
我哋見到佢，佢就對我哋只不過笑下啫。
We never really see him angry.
我哋冇見過佢發脾氣，
At the same time, he doesn't make any decisions in the house.
但係佢都唔為我哋做決定。
My mom makes all the decisions.
我媽咪做晒決定嘅。
And when I was 12, our whole family immigrated to the US.
我12歲嗰時，我哋全家就去咗美國嗰度移民啦。
Only my dad stayed behind in Taiwan and continued to work.
淨係得我爸爸咧留喺台灣嗰度嘅工作。
And at that time, when my mom brought me and my sister and take care of us alone,
咁嗰陣時咧，我媽媽就獨力照顧我同妹妹。
she was very stressed.
佢其實好大壓力，
And she didn't really get along with her family in America.
佢又唔係太可以同佢喺美國嘅家人咧係好相處。
And then she would have these big fluctuation of emotions.
然之後佢就情緒好大嘅起伏，
But my mom was not there. But my dad was not there.
但我爸爸又唔喺度，
So she basically allowed me and my sister to handle her emotion alone.
所以咧好多時咧，我同妹妹咧，我哋自己要承擔翻啲情緒嘅。
So growing up, I don't expect much people to be able to handle my emotions.
所以咧，我由細到大我都已經咧唔覺得有人咧係會睇住我嘅情緒㗎
I
啦。
keep a lot of things to myself.
咁我就自己收埋晒啲嘢。
I'm intensely fearful of authorities.
我係勁驚權柄，
And I don't share a lot with what I think about
我
or
唔
how
會
I
分享
feel.
太多我諗緊啲咩啦，我嘅感受係啲咩啦。
And all you see is the sunny side of me, the bright side, the happy side.
跟住咧喺人哋面前，我就淨係呈現我好陽光嗰一面。
And all the negative and the sadness, I leave it to myself.
跟住所有唔開心嘅嘢，所有傷心嘅嘢，我自己收埋晒。
After we got married, Justine moved to Malaysia to be with me.
咁我哋結咗婚之後咧 ，Justine 就跟我去咗馬來西亞啦。
At the time, I did not understand how helpless she was or how stressed out she felt by moving to Malaysia.
嗰陣時咧，我係唔知道佢搬去馬來西亞其實幾大壓力、幾無助，
I couldn't understand it at all.
我完全唔明白。
And not only that, when we had arguments,
唔單止係咁，當我哋嗌交嘅時候，
I would explode in anger,
我咧就發晒脾氣，
or I would give her long, extended cold shoulders.
一係咧我就好耐都唔同佢講嘢。
I have even locked myself up in my room for over 2 weeks,
甚至咧，我試過咧2個星期鎖自己喺我間房裏邊，
not letting my wife or anybody come in.
我唔俾我太太入嚟，冇人可以入嚟。
And I would be in the room just drinking and sleeping.
我喺我間房裏邊咧飲酒瞓覺。
My wife has always wanted to help me.
我太太成日都想幫我嘅，
but I felt like she was always challenging me,
但我成日都覺得佢喺度挑戰緊我，
or she's actually rejecting me.
一係就係佢喺度拒絕緊我。
And for me, I would react passive-aggressively towards her.
就係因為咁咧，我嘅反應咧就係一啲好被動嘅攻擊型咁樣。
Even though I was in the wrong,
雖然我係錯嗰個，
I was not the one to apologize.
但我唔會去道歉。
I would demand for her to apologize before we would even talk with each other.
我會要求佢道咗歉，我哋先可以講嘢。
And I didn't even care about the needs of my house, of my home.
其實我都唔理屋企有咩需要啦。
When many times my wife would tell me how she needed my help with the kids,
好多次我太太同我講話，佢需要我一齊去湊小朋友，
I pretended as though I didn't hear her.
我咧就當我聽唔到佢講嘢，
And I would be busy outside with my work and my friends.
然之後我就好忙喺出邊工作，同我啲朋友一齊，
I always felt that my wife was just very, very troublesome.
我就成日覺得我太太好煩，
And that she's always in a bad mood.
又成日覺得佢情緒唔好。
And at times I would be thinking, why don't I just have a mistress, just like many of my friends?
咁我嗰陣時甚至諗就係，不如我包二奶啦，好似我啲 friend 咁啦。
After marriage,
咁我哋結婚之後，
my husband is often upset.
我嘅先生成日都係唔開心嘅，
And every time when he showed me the long face,
跟住每次咧佢黑我面，
my first question is, did I do something wrong again?
我第一個問題就係我係咪又做錯嘢？
And then after a while, we had a daughter.
跟住後尾我哋有一個女，
And because of my over independence and also I can take care of myself, then my husband felt like I don't need him.
因為我太獨立啦，跟住我又淨係自己照顧晒我自己，我個先生就覺得我好似唔需要佢咁。
And even though I never told Lemuel,
我其實冇同 Lemuel 講過，
but I really looked down on him.
其實我睇唔起佢，
I felt like he can accomplish nothing.
我覺得佢冇成就。
And even though I don't say in front of his face,
就算我唔喺佢面前講，
but I totally show it in my attitude.
但我啲態度完全彰顯晒出嚟嘅。
And later on, I realized I just want to survive.
跟住後尾咧，我覺得我其實只不過想嘅生存啫。
So I start to try to figure out how would I survive with my daughter.
咁跟住我就喺度諗，我同我啲女可以點生存呢？
And when Lemuel locked himself up in the room,
咁當 Lemuel 佢鎖咗自己喺間房嘅時候，
I would just bring my daughter out alone.
我會自己一個人帶我啲個女就出去，
And we will wander around aimlessly outside for the whole day.
然之後我哋成日喺出邊就漫無目的咁樣喺度行嚟行
So
去。
from that point on, me and Lemuel start living separate lives.
我就開始喺度諗，不如我同佢分開住啦。
And soon later, I realized I was pregnant again.
但係跟住咧，我發現我又懷孕啦。
But at 13 weeks, I lost the baby.
但係2星期之後咧，我咧就流產。
At that time, I was weak physically and emotionally.
嗰陣時咧，我身心都非常之軟弱，
But I still need to take care of my oldest.
但我仲要湊住我大女，
I had no one,
我冇人幫我，
no relative,
我冇親人喺嗰
no
度，
helper.
我冇工人，
I was very, very stressed.
我好大壓力。
And one day, I had a big argument with my husband.
跟住有一日咧，我就同我先生好大嘅吵咗場，
And then once again, he locked himself in the room.
跟住佢再次將自己鎖喺間房。
But at this time, I lost all hope.
但今次咧，我完全冇晒希望。
And I remember a week later,
我仲記得咧，1個星期之後，
it was one night I sat in front of our studies.
跟住有一次咧，我係就係喺我嘅 study rooms 嗰度，
And then I told God,
跟住然之後咧，我就同神講，
I don't want to try anymore.
我唔想再試啦，
I give up.
我放棄啦。
And I feel like it's so embarrassing.
跟住咧，我咧就覺得勁慚愧，
Because not only I came from a family of lines of Christians,
唔單止咧，因為我成個家族其實都係基督徒，
I graduated from a seminary with a marriage and family counseling
我仲
degree.
要喺神學院裏邊家庭嘅輔導學畢業，
And in my standard,
喺我嘅標準裏邊，
divorce is not an option.
離婚唔係一個選擇，
But I just couldn't go on anymore.
但我實在行唔落去啦，
And I decided I'm going to go home.
所以我決定我會翻屋企。
So that night when I was looking through flights,
所以我嗰晚咧，我就喺度睇機票，
I felt the Holy Spirit was telling me,
我覺得咧聖靈嗰陣時同我講，
call someone from Hong Kong 611.
你打俾一啲喺611嘅人，
Because we actually met in Hong Kong 611.
因為其實我哋兩個係喺香港611嗰度認識
But
嘅，
I don't want to send this message.
但我唔想去 send 一個咁嘅信息啊，
I felt so embarrassed.
因為我覺得實在太慚愧啦。
But Holy Spirit continued to press me.
但係咧
pressing to me.
聖靈繼續催逼我，
So I contacted,
於是我就聯絡咗，
and we were invited to come and join a couples camp.
跟住我哋被邀請嚟到呢度參加夫妻營。
After which we actually came to Hong Kong for the couples camp.
跟住我哋兩個就嚟咗呢度參加夫妻營。
And I thank God that I could finally start to actually begin to understand a bit of how Justine was feeling.
感謝神，我卒之可以少少開始明白 Justine 嘅感覺係點啊
How！ she felt so alone
佢係幾咁孤單，
in an unfamiliar place in my hometown Malaysia.
喺我咧嘅城市裏邊，根本佢就係唔熟悉任何人。
And only slowly I start to understand actually how self-centered and how arrogant I was as a person.
跟住慢慢咧，我先明白我係幾咁自我中心，同埋我好囂張。
On the last night of the couples camp,
去到夫妻營最尾嗰晚，
Pastor Joshua actually invited us to remain and stay back in Hong Kong.
張牧師咧就邀請我哋留喺香港，
It's as though he was telling me, "Man, return home."
彷彿佢嗰刻就同我講：男人回家吧。
And I was just like a drifter, like a prodigal son that has been drifting for so many years.
我其實好似個浪子咁樣遊嚟遊去，遊咗好多年啦。
And only finally I start to have this desire that really I want to come home.
跟住去到嗰刻，我卒之覺得我真係要翻屋企啦。
The time I told God and I told Justine, please give me just one more chance.
嗰陣時咧，我就同 Justine 亦都同神講話：請你俾多一次機會我，
Let me try and start anew again.
俾我重新再嚟多一次。
For the past 4 years here in Hong Kong,
過去嗰4年喺香港，
we received a lot of help and love from Pastor Joshua and Simo Delphine.
我哋咧喺牧師師母嗰度咧得到好多嘅幫助，好多嘅幫
Our
忙。
cell leaders, Pastor Anna and Pastor Jason.
仲有見聖苗苗牧師，佢哋都好幫我哋。
And also actually a lot of other authorities in the church here.
其實仲有好多教會裏面嘅權柄，佢哋都幫我哋。
They embraced our brokenness
佢哋擁抱我哋係破碎嘅人，
and they helped us on this journey.
佢都幫我哋去走呢一段嘅旅程。
Right now, where we are in our marriage,
而家喺我哋婚姻裏邊，
I feel that it's actually much better, even better than we just got married.
我覺得我哋好咗好多，仲好過我哋結婚之前。
But what I say doesn't count. You've got to listen to the wife.
但我講嘅唔算數，要聽我太太講。
So, in 2020, God gave us our second daughter.
跟住神俾咗第二個嘅女兒我哋，
And it's as though God is telling us that everything that has been taken away from you, one by one, God will return it back to us with even more abundance.
而彷彿就好似神藉住呢樣嘢話俾我哋聽，所有我哋之前失去咗嘅嘢，佢要再俾我哋，並且俾更豐盛嘅我哋。
Justine,
Justine，
you have suffered much.
你受咗好多苦，
Thank you for not giving up on me and embracing me.
好多謝你，你擁抱我，你冇放棄我，
I really need your help.
我真係好需要你幫我。
Thank you for not giving up on me.
好多謝你冇放棄我，
I will continue to learn how to manage my emotions,
我會繼續學管理我自己嘅情緒，
and I'll continue to learn how to communicate
我會繼續學點樣去同你溝通，
and always seek for help.
我會願意去尋求幫助。
You're very important to me.
你係對我嚟講好重要，
I love you very much.
我好愛你。
Lemuel, I have seen so much improvement from you.
Lemuel，我見到你真係好大進步。
And then when I was sitting down during the time of worship,
頭先我坐喺度，我哋喺度敬拜嘅時候，
I was thinking before I would see all these couples come up here and share their testimony.
我記翻起我哋一直喺度見到好多夫妻上嚟呢度講見證，
Testimony of victory.
佢哋點樣得勝。
But I feel like it would never be me.
但係嗰陣時，我覺得一定唔會係發生我身上。
When I come to Hong Kong, I just want to survive.
我啱啱嚟到香港，我只不過想生存。
But I felt like God wanted to give me so much more.
但係我發現神想俾我係更多更多。
Thank you for listening to me.
好多謝你聆聽我，
Thank you for listening to me even though we have differences and even though you didn't want to, you're tired.
多謝你聆聽我，就算我哋有不同意見，甚至你好攰嘅時候，你都聽我。
And thank you for loving our kids.
好多謝你愛我哋嘅女
You have
兒，
really taken up the role of the father.
你真係咧承擔做爸爸呢一個嘅角色。
You have become the man that is able to carry responsibility,
你而家成為咗一個負責任嘅男
which
人，
I never thought was possible.
我以前覺得冇可能㗎，
I'm very proud of you.
但我真係好引以為榮。
Thank you. I love you.
多謝你，我愛你。
During this time, the 40-day fasting,
喺呢個40日嘅禁食裏邊，
God actually did an amazing thing for me.
神咧做咗好多好神奇嘢喺我身上。
During this week's co-workers breakfast meeting,
喺呢個星期，我哋有同工早餐會，
God realized that I had this long-term anger towards
跟
my
住
dad.
我就開始發現，原來我長期對我爸爸咧都係憤怒嘅。
But at that meeting, I was able to receive healing.
但係咧喺嗰個嘅會議嗰度咧，我得到醫治。
I realized for a long time I had a lot of expectation towards my family.
跟住咧，原來我好耐咧，我都已經對我嘅家庭咧係好失望。
I have a lot of rigidity.
我亦都係好硬邦邦咁樣嘅。
But when I'm able to lay them down,
但當我放低呢一切嘅時候
and Lemuel was more willing to listen to me
，Lemuel 咧佢好願意聽我講，
and understand what is it that I need.
然之後佢明白我嘅需要。
We are not perfect.
我哋都唔係完美，
Far from it.
離完美好遙遠。
Because even just through working through this testimony, we had a couple heated discussions.
因為就算我哋喺度準備呢個見證，我哋都嗌晒交。
But this time is different.
但今次唔同，
It didn't end up with him locking himself in the
今次
room.
佢冇鎖自己喺間房裏邊，
But we're able to talk through it,
我哋可以溝通，
understand each other,
我哋可以明
and
大
love each
家，
other more.
我哋可以愛大家多啲。
Thank God for saving me and saving my marriage.
感謝神，佢救咗我嘅婚姻。
We are so happy that we're able to be nourished under the tree of life.
我哋真係好開心，好感恩，我哋可以喺生命樹底下
That
被
we
滋
can
潤，
start anew.
我哋可以重新嚟過。
May
May all
glory
glory
and
and
thanks to
honor
our Abba
to
Father.
our Abba Father.
我哋將榮耀仲
Praise
散
the
歸
Lord.
俾我哋嘅天父。